Hello everyone, welcome to the Birthday Bonanza online class. Thank you for purchasing the kit, and this first video we are going to work on this card. So go ahead and find the card with those supplies and put these aside for later. And I have already put all my stamps on blocks, so I found I need a lot of blocks for this stamp set, but you of course can take them off and on. We're using the koala, the hat, the little confetti, or it can be the top of the hat, and then on the inside the balloon and the greeting. Okay, so I have my little packet. This one's pretty quick. This came from the dies with the Birthday Bonanza, and when I originally planned this class, those were sold out. So now they are back in stock, at least they were this morning. So if you want to get those, you can get them. So you're going to start with your little, we'll actually put these layers on first. You can use glue or your snail adhesive. You can uncover that so you can see it. And I just left about a 1/4 inch, want to make it right side up, leave a 1/4 inch edge all around, and I put that one down first. Now because this is ribbed, I usually like the glue better. It seems to be stronger and it's easier to run it across. And by the way, how I got this piece, there is an embossing folder that does something similar to this, but I use this old tool I've had for a long time. I don't know what it's called, from Fiskars, but you just run your paper through it and it gives it that ribbed look. But I got this card design from somebody else. I should have written down her name to tell you, but oh, my glue's running out. Anyway, I will post it in the video, and I'm sure they use the embossing folder. And then again, I want to leave a 4th edge around the side, but this one's a little shorter. I actually cut it the same size as this, but then when you run it through the machine, it shortens. And then I'll put that down. And then we have our little tag. Now oh, happy birthday. I didn't tell you guys that stamp. I used that one too. So stamp that in Bermuda Bay at the top of your tag. Now for the little koala, you can decide if there's an extra piece of cardstock in your kit to stamp and cut him out. Both him and the hat, or her, I don't know which it is. But if you don't want to deal with cutting out your koala, you can just stamp it right on the tag. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Go ahead and stamp it. And I'm using Smoky Slate for the koala. And you want, when you stamp, you probably already know, you may know this already, but you want to tap more than mash with these photopolymer sets, especially if they're new. And then when you put it on, you want to kind of watch that the ink goes through. I hold it for a second, not usually this long. I'm talking right now. And if you can get a foam pad to put underneath, it will give a better image. I love the stamping the piercing mat Stampin' Up! Sells. This is half of one. They really come in this big size, but I cut them in half for classes, so I have more. And they're $5 and they're retiring. So if you like it, get it soon. This looks really dark right now, but as the ink sits, it gets lighter. So just know that when you're stamping. Oh, see, another piece I forgot to tell you. His little nose and eyes is a separate stamp. So you're going to stamp that, and this one I really feel like I need to get my head in there, so sorry if I pull it out, but you want to look through your photopolymer and try to get his nose right in there. Now that is a nice thing about using a spare piece of paper versus doing it right on your tag, that if you mess up, you hopefully have another piece of paper lying around that you can use. And I'm doing the hat in Poppy Parade. And I'm going to cut that out separate. You know, I could have actually just put that right on his head and cut them out together, but I didn't think of that. So I did that on another card, but anyway. So then you're going to die cut if you have the dies, or fussy cut. And you can go ahead and pause the video right now if you want to do that. I am going to just, of course, pull the one that I cut earlier to save time. Now, even with my die cut machine, sometimes on that little hat, I just fussy cut it because it's faster, and I've had problems with it sliding around. Okay, so let's put our little guy on here, and I put him up on dimensionals. Probably one would have been okay, but I picked two. Now, I'm laying him this way for a second because I want to stamp around him just in case him being raised makes it harder for me to stamp evenly. I don't know if that makes sense. On this one I did Daffodil Delight, my first card, but I'm going to use Mango Melody because I thought that was a little hard to see, and so I wanted it to be a little bit of a darker color. And both colors are in this paper, so it doesn't really matter. So there's my, and you'll notice when I use the greeting and the little tiny one, I didn't put the foam mat there. It's mostly really helpful if you have lots of ink on a bold image. So you can still use it, but I didn't feel I needed it as much. And we'll stick our little guy on there. For the top, you'll weave you put your ribbon in and fold it in half. Oh, I gotta add his hat, shoot. I think I might have made him run into the word. So hopefully, if your dimensionals have sat very long, they are really stuck. But if you peel them shortly after you lay them, sometimes you can get them off. Okay, I mean, I tore my paper a little, but that's not going to matter because, so see, I want him a little lower so that I have room for my hat. You guys can tell this is non-edited video here, and I think I could have used a full-size dimensional there, but that's okay. So put a little dimensional under the hat. There we go. Now I'm going to do the ribbon. So make sure you plan for your hat when you go to make this card. And then this, once you tie that in half, or fold that in half, you're going to just tie this around. And I think it's easiest to make a bow if you first tie it in a knot. That's my own preference, because it's easier for me to hold it tight and tie a knot, and then make the bow, which I'm having trouble doing right now. I think it's because I'm trying to do it far away from me, and I'm used to having it right under my nose, but I only get the top of my head in the video. Okay, so there's your bow, and then you'll just want to cut off any excess. Let's stick it on our card first, and then we can see how tall we want it. Obviously, we don't want it sticking over the edge of our, wow, I just took off a whole bunch of those. Never done that before. I am putting a lot on. And I'm usually kind of skimpy with these, but when you have something that's textured, it's harder for things to stick because you don't have a nice flat surface. So I tend to be more liberal when I have textured things. So I'm going to set that there. the top of the card so it won't stick out over the edge of the envelope. Now this set is so full of cute things for the inside of your card, and I'm going to do the inside and the envelope at the same time on all my cards, because while I'm stamping, let's do it at the same time. So I'm actually going to start with the bottom string so I don't have to guess how high up to put my balloon. I'm sorry, the bottom string of my balloon. I'm going to put that in this corner and one again right there. And then I left my Bermuda Bay ink pad open, which was scaring me. Now this again is one of those bolder images, and so just to be safe, actually I'm going to stamp it once there. That's just my rule when I first ink up a stamp, to make sure that there's like, I've had dimensional wrappers stuck on them and ruin my whole image when I go to put it on my card. And then this is the inside greeting. Test it once there. And I don't really need this pad under, but it's there, so I'm going to leave it there. Oh, I forgot to do my balloon on my envelope. And then you could also do on the back that happy birthday. And then our little yellow confetti, which again, you can use Daffodil Delight or Mango Melody, whichever. Oh, goodness gracious. Did you see what I just did? Let's hope I have a wipe near me. I just stuck the wrong side of my block in there. Why I keep wipes nearby, because I do silly things. Okay, so stamp the stamp, not the block, in. And you, of course, can leave your inside blank if you want. And I'm just going to stick a few there. Oops, I went too fast. And the cool thing about photopolymer is sometimes you can fix that. So there you have your first card and envelope. Ta-da!